How to write a winning offer in a seller's market. Hello, I am jamiehowesre with United Real Estate Properties. Today we are talking about the process of writing an offer. Right now in our market, we have what's called a seller's market. There are lots of buyers and low inventory. And in a market like this, sometimes home buyers wonder if it's even worth trying to compete against other buyers in a seller's market. It's not unusual for a seller to receive 20 offers when there's very low inventory on the market. It's almost always a good idea to write an offer anyway. Somebody will be the winning offer. Why can't that person be you? There are ways to up your chances. First, you can submit a large earnest money deposit. Pending home sales sometimes blow up, and many sellers worry that once they commit to an offer, the winning buyers might back out of the transaction or default on the contract. By then, all the other buyers have disappeared. And remember, the earnest money deposit is part of your down payment. First, you'll show the seller that you're serious about closing if you increase it to above normal. You're only offering the seller the money now rather than later, and it speaks volumes. You want to show the seller that you are qualified. Almost every offer will be accompanied by a lender letter. Ask your lender for a pre-approval letter to make you stand out from the rest. This is different from a pre-qualified letter. Being pre-approved makes you a stronger buyer in the seller's eyes. Be sure to give the sellers time to move. Buyer possession is often a sticky point. It's hard enough to juggle multiple closings when you're selling and buying simultaneously, and it's even more difficult when the seller is doing the same exact thing. Offer to cut her some slack by giving her 2 to 3 days to move out even after closing, without expecting compensation. Shorten or waive some contingencies. You have 10 days for inspections for lead-based paint under federal law, unless you waive that right in writing. You always want to get a home inspection, but consider tightening that time period. You might also want to waive the loan approval contingency if your loan is solid. Talk to your agent about comparable sales to decide if you want to waive an appraisal contingency. You can offer to bridge the gap between appraisal and sales price. Offer to pay the difference in cash if you have a bit of extra on hand and you think that the home might not appraise at that price that you're offering. The seller could be thinking the same thing. And right up front, write your best offer. Don't hope for negotiation in a seller's market. Offer your highest price when you can live with if your offer should be rejected. Do your best. Make it attractive, maybe a little above listing price. Ask your agent for a comparative market analysis to determine the pricing range. Sometimes sellers deliberately set a price below comparative sales in an effort to generate multiple offers. Paying a little extra doesn't necessarily mean you're paying over market value. And remember to play nice. Don't ask the seller to give you personal items, and don't expect the seller to pay your closing costs. Find out which costs are customarily paid for by the seller and offer to pay one or more of them yourself, such as title policies, escrow fees, and transfer fees. And ask your agent to pursue a friendly relationship with the seller's agent too. Sometimes sellers reject offers based on what the seller's agent has to say about your agent. And it's always good to find out what's important to the seller. Ask your agent to sniff out the hot buttons in the transaction. These could be the seller's requests or listing agent expectations. Ask what will seal the deal, then give it. Maybe it's fast closing, maybe it's a longer than usual escrow period. Remember, most sellers have an emotional attachment to their homes. They want them to fall into the hands of an acceptable buyer. So be that acceptable buyer. Write the seller a brief letter explaining why you love his home so much. It's okay to beg a little, be sappy, but be sincere. You should always prepare for a counter offer. You can write the best offer in the world, but a competent listing agent is likely to advise the seller to counter all the multiple offers. Sellers don't have to make identical counter offers in some states. Each can be different. The seller also retains the right to choose or reject accepted multiple counter offers. Now, at all costs, avoid a bidding war in any market. And yes, you really want this home. and so do numerous others. If you're tempted to increase your price again and again, ask yourself this: do you just want to win, or do you really want the house that much? Competitive personalities especially can fall into this trap, and you don't want to dramatically overpay for the property. Come in with the highest and best possible offer you can reasonably afford, one that still meets all the other parameters. Then live with it. Thanks for watching today. I do appreciate it. Now, if you have any questions, reach out to myself or any member of Team Howes. All of our contact information is in the description box below. If you want to get notified on our upcoming videos, be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell as we post new videos every Monday and Friday. I hope you have a great week.